As I do every weekday morning, on December 23rd, I opened the Arxiv website and took a look at the new submissions. One article, in particular, caught my attention from its title alone. It is the work of Rancourt and Hickey, titled, "Do the Unvaccinated Disproportionately Harm the Vaccinated in a Respiratory Pandemic?" published in Correlation Research in Public Interest. This paper critiques two earlier studies by Fissman et al., one from 2022, published in CMAJ, and another from 2024, published in PLOS One. In these studies, the authors define and introduce a new parameter in epidemiological models used in the literature, and employ it to demonstrate, among other things, that there was a disproportionate risk of infection incurred by vaccinated persons due to contacts with unvaccinated persons during the declared COVID-19 pandemic. I do not know whether the authors of the works criticized by Rancourt and Hickey had a preconceived intention to prove something, for example that unvaccinated people are as dangerous as, or even more dangerous than, plague spreaders during the Black Death. Since Fissman et al. Are scientists, I hope not. However, their interpretation of their results is clear. From the 2022 study, we read: Interpretation: although risk associated with avoiding vaccination during a virulent pandemic accrues chiefly to people who are unvaccinated, their choices affect risk of viral infection among those who are vaccinated in a manner that is disproportionate to the portion of unvaccinated people in the population. From the 2024 study, we read: Interpretation: vaccination against SARS-CoV-2 continues to diminish the risk of infection among vaccinated people and in the population as a whole. By contrast, the risk of infection among vaccinated people accrues disproportionately from contact with unvaccinated people. Moreover, the interpretation given by some policymakers to Fissman et al.'s 2022 results is equally clear and is reported in Rancourt and Hickey's critique. For example, on April 2022, Adam Van Coeverden, Parliamentary Secretary to the Canadian Minister of Health, stated, "Madam Speaker, I thank my honourable colleague for giving me the opportunity to highlight a recent study indicating that unfortunately the unvaccinated continue to disproportionately risk the safety of those vaccinated against COVID-19. Rancourt and Hickey demonstrate that Fissman et al. Results are invalid. I have not delved deeply into either the original studies or the critique, but one thing I can say, assuming Fissman et al. Acted in good faith, a minimal application of common sense and logic would have been enough to realize that their results make no sense. Science, especially theoretical physics, has accustomed us over the past 100 years to believe that what is counterintuitive and against common sense is often true, while what is intuitive and self-evident must be viewed with suspicion. But there is a limit. If, on the other hand, one suspects an intention to discredit unvaccinated people to push vaccination uptake, then applying a modicum of logic, they made a misstep. Stating that the choices of unvaccinated people affect risk of viral infection among those who are vaccinated in a manner that is disproportionate to the portion of unvaccinated people in the population, effectively means claiming that the vaccine does not do what it was designed to do, protect people from infection. In fact, it even suggests that the vaccine makes people more vulnerable to infection.